Hello, how you all doing? Hope everybody's doing all right at home. I've designed today's class to be based on the floor, and we're going to be spending most of the time in this semi-supine position, just lying on our back with our feet flat on the earth like that. I'm going to offer some nice postures for the lower spine and also for the hips and the pelvis as well. So the whole class will be floor based, so it might be nice to get a mat. And I'm going to be using a block. This is a yoga block. If you don't have one of these at home, a kind of a thick book will do, or a cardboard box, or if you don't have anything sort of similar size, then a cushion will also be all right. A little bit harder for you because it's softer, but a cushion will give you the same kind of options that the block will give you. So if you want to grab any yoga mats or props now, and then when you're ready, we'll come and meet lying down in semi-supine position. So that soles of the feet flat on the earth, about hip distance apart, and then the spine lays flat down on the floor as well. The shoulder blades soften and relax on the earth. And just allow yourself to arrive into this semi-supine position. Allow the neck to be centralized, the gaze going up towards the ceiling. And we'll start with a few grounding breaths here in semi-supine. So I invite you maybe to take one hand onto the belly, one hand onto the side of the ribs. And just notice as you breathe, if there's any movement between the hands and the ribs. You might find on the inhale, the diaphragm expands, the stomach rises up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, the belly button might fall closer towards the earth. Same thing might happen with the ribs. On the inhale, you might find the ribs expand out sideways, and then exhale, that space between the ribs becomes smaller. Taking a few grounding breaths now. As you exhale, you can allow the spine to release and soften down towards the earth. Allow the shoulders to soften and relax towards the floor. Lovely. And then we'll release the hands either side of the body. I invite you now to extend your left leg out nice and long, and then draw the right knee in towards the chest. Hug the right knee up towards the right shoulder, and then we're going to rotate that ankle in one direction and in the opposite direction. Then taking the hands to the back of the thigh, we'll have a go at slowly opening and closing that leg. Just working to a point of comfort in your body. And then releasing left hand to the left hip. Take the right fingertips lightly on top of the knee, and we'll start doing some big circles through the right hips. Working those circles in one direction and then the opposite direction. And then have a go at gently taking that right knee over towards the left hand side. Doesn't have to travel far, just at the start of the practice, but just explore a little bit of twisting on the earth. You might feel an opening up sensation in the lower half of the right back. Lovely. And then gently release. We'll extend that right leg out nice and long on the earth, and then draw the left knee in towards the chest, and have a go at rotating that ankle in one direction and in the opposite direction. Lovely. Taking the hands behind the back of the leg, have a go at straightening and closing that leg. Bringing a bit of mobility through the knee joint. And only opening, straightening and bending as much as feels comfortable in your body. Well, then release the right hand, take the left hand on top of the kneecap, and start drawing some nice big circles with those knees. Opening up through the hips. Reversing the direction of those circles. And then have a go just lightly drawing that left knee over to the right hand side of the body. Not taking it to any extremes, just making a nice gentle movement. Feel that opening through the lower left side. Lovely, and then draw that back towards the center. We'll take both soles of the feet flat on the floor here. Taking the hands lightly to the back of the head, I want you to honour that natural curve in the lumbar spine, so that space at the lower back. Imagining there's a small blueberry resting underneath the lower spine. Take a nice inhale with the body on the floor, and then exhale, lift the head and shoulders, honouring that blueberry space. As we inhale, we reach the arms forward, and then exhale, press that lower back flat into the earth as you sit up nice and tall. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and then exhale, gently release back down to earth. Inhale to honour that space, protecting that imaginary blueberry. Exhale to lift head and shoulders. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, lift and squash that blueberry down to the earth. Inhale, rise the arms up overhead. Exhale, return to center. Inhale to release that blueberry, lift the lumbar spine. Exhale, lift head and shoulders, keep the blueberry safe. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, press that blueberry to the earth, lift head and shoulders. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, release down towards the earth. We'll take 2 more of these. Inhale to open that lumbar spine. Exhale, lift head and shoulders. Inhale to reach the arms. Exhale, press lower back to the earth. Inhale, keep pressing as the arms go overhead. And exhale, slowly release. 1 more time. Inhale, honour that space. Exhale, lift head and shoulders. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, press lower back into the floor. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, gently release. Come back down to center. Take any side to side with the knees, or gentle massage of the belly you might need here to release and reset. That's working really closely with the muscles of the pelvic floor and also the lower back to give you lots of support if you ever get any lower back tension or hip issues. I'm going to work through a few spinal rolls next. So keeping the palms either side of the hips flat on the earth, you might want to walk the feet closer to the body. As we inhale, we're gently going to lift hips and pelvis off the earth, and then exhale, slowly roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Flow through a few of these. Inhale to lift hips and pelvis, and exhale to slowly roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. So we can keep flowing through these. Inhale to lift hips and pelvis, and exhale to slowly release. To make this stretch a little bit harder and to work through the inner thighs, I'm going to take this block and place it in between the inner thighs, so I'm squeezing the legs together, and then as I lift and lower the hips and pelvis, I'm using the legs to squeeze the inner thighs. I'm engaging the muscles of the glutes, so that's the muscles of the bum cheek, as I lift and lower into these mini bridge supported back bends. Again, good for supporting and strengthening the lower back. Lovely. When you're ready, we're going to hold one of these bridge postures. I've got the option of keeping the block between my inner thighs to squeeze it together. Or if I want a bit more support in this bridge, I can lift up the hips and then release my back onto that lifted block to give myself a little bit of support in this back bend. Over time, I might want to increase the height, coming up a little bit higher, and then releasing lower back down towards the mat. I'm resting that area just across the lower back, just before the top of the bum, that real sacrum area onto the blocks, allowing that opening through the pelvis, lifting up the breastbone up towards the ceiling, up towards the chin. Lovely. And then when you're ready, lift up slowly. You can remove 1 prop at a time, and then gently roll yourself all the way back down to earth. You can take the legs from side to side as if they were windscreen wipers, just gently releasing any tension from the lower back. And then the last exercise we're going to offer here on the earth is to take a hip opener. So I'm going to draw my right knee in towards me, keep the toe flexed, and then take this ankle, bring it just underneath the left knee. And then I want to draw the knee and the ankle in alignment so my shin is in one straight line. I can stay here to open up through the side of the hip. If I want to increase the stretch, I might lift up this leg, take hold of the top of the leggings and pull both legs towards me, maybe taking hold of the back of the thigh. Maybe I'm able to walk my hands towards the shin, or maybe I just keep pulling on the front of the trousers. Trying to keep this knee in alignment with the ankle and keep flexing the toes back towards the knee to keep the knee nice and safe. Holding on to a few breaths here, maybe slowly drawing both legs closer towards the body. Coming back to that slow and steady, grounded breath. Lovely, and then gently release this leg out. Give it any straightening it might need, and then we'll switch over to the second side, drawing that left knee in, flexing the ankle, flexing the toes before I cross the ankle underneath the opposite knee, taking the knee out wide. And I can stay here with this sole of the foot flat on the earth if that feels right in my body, or I might want to have a go at drawing this foot off the floor, maybe taking hold of the front of the leggings, back of the thigh, or maybe even the front of the shin. And then wherever I rest my hands, release head and shoulders back towards the mat. Draw both legs in towards you. Coming back to that slow and steady breath. Lovely, and then gently, slowly release your way out of that pose, straightening and bending the leg. Then we'll take a short relaxation. So one option is to take the feet out as wide as the mat and then allow the knees to fall in together and open the hands out up towards the ceiling. Another option is to come and lie down, legs outstretched, taking that Shavasana corpse pose variation. Opening palms of the hands towards the ceiling, allow the shoulders to open towards the sky. And we can close down the eyes and take the focus inside. Becoming aware of the points of contact your body has with the floor. And allowing these to be the points through which you give your weight down towards the earth. Letting go of any tension in the body. Allow yourself to let go of anywhere that you're still holding on. Release the abdomen and the belly. Release the muscles of the shoulders and the neck. Release the muscles of the face, soften the tongue and the mouth. Allow the breathing to be slow and steady. Let go of any control of the breath. And Shavasana literally means corpse pose. It's our final resting position. And once we get to Shavasana, we recognize that there is absolutely nothing left to do. Once we get to Shavasana, we realize that everything is perfect just the way it is. And Shavasana marks the end of who we were before we started to practice yoga. And in the space of Shavasana, we have the opportunity to transform. Who we awaken into once Shavasana is over is entirely up to us. Taking one more moment to enjoy the bliss of Shavasana. before we slowly, in our own time, start to bring some movement back into the body. Wriggle the fingers, rotate the ankles. On an inhale, we can take the arms up above the head and have one nice long stretch along the floor. Exhale, draw the knees in towards the chest. Wrap your arms around them and give yourself a nice hug and a squeeze. And then we can roll over onto one side. Slowly bring ourselves back to a cross-legged seated position on the mat. Or coming into any comfortable seated position that suits your body. And we'll end the class with 3 breaths together. Take a nice inhale, take those arms up overhead. Exhale to the center. We'll take 2 more. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. And last time, inhale. And exhale. Om Shanti Namaste. Thank you very much.